I'm the child of my father's affair. After my mom died, I moved in with a dad I hadn't seen in nearly 10 years, and his family won't accept me.
I'm using a throwaway account so I don't make things even worse than they already are. A bit of backstory. I'm 16. Not long ago, I moved in with my dad after my mom passed away. My dad was never really part of my life. He and my mom were never even married. He has a wife, Susan, she's 48, and two kids, Mike, 18, and Amelia, 14. When I moved in with them, everything fell apart right away. No one wanted me there. They were polite, but cold, like I was a stranger invading their space. Susan, Mike, and Amelia usually talk to each other in French, knowing I don't understand a word. My dad tried to set a English-only rule at home, but that didn't work for long. The first few weeks were awful. Mike acted like I didn't even exist, even though we had to share a room just because there wasn't enough space in the house. I tried to be nice, but I had just lost my mom. It hurt. It was scary. Too much change all at once. 2 days ago, I found my postcards, photos, and letters from my mom ripped into pieces and scattered all over my bed. I kept them in a box under the bed. That day, the only person home was Mike. So I knew exactly who did it. I started yelling at him. We got into it. First words, then fists. Right in the middle of it, Susan and Amelia came home. I don't even remember what Mike said. I was so angry. My head was buzzing. My hands were shaking. I just remember hitting him. Then he hit me back. And while Susan and Amelia were trying to pull us apart, I accidentally caught Amelia in the face with my elbow. She started bleeding from her nose. When my dad came home, everyone was still yelling. Susan was literally trying to throw me out of the house. I couldn't stop crying because my only real memories of my mom, those pictures, were destroyed, and I don't know if they can even be fixed. My dad tried to calm everyone down, but he didn't punish Mike. Said there was no proof he did it. I was the one who got in trouble for throwing the first punch. And Susan is still trying to convince my dad to send me away, to a boarding school, to relatives, anywhere but here. Mike and Amelia keep telling me I ruined their family. But I didn't choose any of this. I just lost my mom. Yeah, I shouldn't have hit him, I know that. But I was furious. I lost control. Now I don't even know how I'm supposed to live under the same roof with him. And yeah, I get it. I made things worse. But am I really the one to blame here? Q and A from the comments. Q: did you know your dad before this? Have you met his family? A: my mom passed away about 2.5 months ago. It was sudden. We were really close. I'd seen my dad maybe twice in my entire life, and not for almost 10 years before I had to move in with him. Turns out his wife knew about the affair, but didn't know about me, not until my mom died. The kids didn't know anything. They're angry that I even exist. But honestly, they're angry at my dad too, and I can't blame them. Q: can you stay with your mom's relatives? A: no. My grandparents on my mom's side disowned her when they found out she got pregnant by a married man. They're very religious. They didn't even come to her funeral. I've got no one else. And my dad lives in another country, far from where Mom and I used to live. So there's no one around that I know. Update one I've posted here before, but things have only gotten worse, and honestly, I don't know how to keep living like this anymore. Quick recap. I'm the child of an affair. My dad's wife and my half-siblings hate me just for existing. And a couple of months ago, my half-brother destroyed every photo and letter I had from my mom It's been about 6 months since I moved in with my dad and his family, and I still feel like they're just tolerating me. After the pictures of my mom were destroyed, everything that was already bad somehow became unbearable. I spent almost 2 months sleeping on the couch because I couldn't stand being in the same room with my brother after what he did. Now, I carry a backpack with me everywhere. Inside it are the few things I have left from my mom. Some letters, postcards, a couple of keepsakes, just so no one can touch them again. Mike apologized, but it felt fake, like he was only doing it in front of Dad. My stepmom and half-sister barely speak to me. They still talk almost exclusively in French, and I'm only just starting to pick up a few words here and there. I always feel like a stranger in this house. I get why they don't want me here, but I have no idea what else I could do to make things even slightly better. The worst part happened 3 weeks ago. I lost my house key and got stuck outside in the rain after school. I called my dad. No answer. I rang the doorbell over and over because I saw Susan's car in the driveway. I knew she was home, but there's nothing nearby, nowhere to wait. By the time my dad got home, an hour and a half later, I was soaked and freezing. When we walked inside, Susan just said she'd been on a call and didn't hear the doorbell. I couldn't even speak to her. I just went upstairs, locked myself in the bathroom, cried, and then went to bed. Dad apologized later for not seeing my message sooner, but that wasn't the point at all. Living here makes me sick. I barely sleep, barely eat. My grades are crashing, and there's no one I can talk to. I miss my mom so much, and everyone here pretends she never existed. And I have to do the same, just to keep the peace. Then something happened last week. My dad's best friends, the couple I stayed with for a few days right after my mom died, while he figured out how to bring me home, heard that I'd been locked out of the house. They offered to let me come stay with them, and I want to say yes so badly, because anywhere has to be better than this. But I know if I leave, my dad will see it as betrayal. He cut ties with his whole family just to take me in so I wouldn't end up in foster care. If I go now, it'll look like I'm ungrateful for everything he's done. I know my dad's trying. He really is. But I don't know if I can survive another year and a half in this house. How do I even bring this up to him? Should I try to move out or just tough it out until I turn 18? From the comments, Q, is your dad really just standing by and letting you take all the heat for him? A, there was a lot of tension between my dad, my stepmom, and my sister at first, but it's mostly faded. Mike's still angry at him, but now it feels like they've just redirected all that anger at me. I've tried talking to my dad, but we hardly ever get a moment alone. I can't say anything when everyone's around. No one really does anything in front of him, except for the language thing, which he tries to stop whenever he catches it. But Mike and Susan keep doing little things behind his back to hurt me. And I think my dad just doesn't want to believe that his wife and kids could actually treat me that way. Update 2. It's been a week since I last talked to my dad, and a lot of people asked for an update, so here it is. For those who haven't seen my earlier posts, I'm 16. After my mom died, I had to move in with my dad and his family, and ever since then, things have been cold and tense. My half-brother ripped up every picture I had of my mom. My stepmom once left me outside in the rain and didn't open the door. And recently, my dad's friends offered to let me stay with them just to get out of that house. I took a few people's advice and texted my dad's friends, telling them I wanted to leave. They suggested we all meet for lunch. I was nervous. Even sitting next to my dad made me anxious. And his friend Jay was the one who finally brought up the idea of me moving out. My dad looked completely blindsided. He asked why I wanted to leave, and Jay and his husband Ben reminded him of everything that had been happening at home. I just sat there, quiet. My dad looked upset, and I felt awful, guilty even. But then he just asked, "Do you really want to go?" I said yes, and he agreed, just like that. It hit me hard. I think deep down, I wanted him to fight for me and to say he was sorry for letting everything happen, to show that I still mattered to him. But he didn't. He just let me go, like it was easier that way. After lunch, Ben drove me to their apartment, while Jay went with my dad to pick up my things. When I got there, they'd already set up a room for me. Ben apologized for not offering sooner and said he hoped I'd finally feel safe there. Jay came back with all my stuff and gave me space to breathe. I ended up sleeping for almost 16 hours. I was that exhausted. This past week, they've done everything to make me feel at home. We talked about starting therapy to process losing my mom and everything that happened at my dad's house. They're also looking into transferring me to another school so I don't have to deal with my half-sister or anyone who knows my brother. And honestly, for the first time in months, I can breathe. I'm not living in constant fear. My dad hasn't really texted or called me this week, so I don't know what'll happen between us. But for now, I'm safe, and maybe that's what matters most. Thank you to everyone who supported me and sent kind words. These past few months have been hell, but your messages made me feel a little less alone. Final update. Hey everyone, it's been a while since my last update, the one where I moved out of my dad's house. A lot of people have been asking how things are going, so I thought I'd give one last update. Things have been pretty quiet since then. I transferred to a new school, and a few months ago, I started therapy. Jay and Ben have been amazing. They gave me time to grieve, never rushed me, never tried to fix me. And now, for the first time, I don't feel like I have to hide everything that reminds me of my mom. Someone from Reddit actually reached out and helped me digitally repair some of the old photos that were destroyed. Of course, it's not the same, but at least it's something. Now I can see her face again, even if it's just on a screen. Things with my family are still complicated. After my story blew up, my half-sister Amelia saw the post. She said she'd read all the comments and started feeling guilty about the way she, her mom, and my brother treated me. She apologized, said she'd understand if I couldn't forgive her. We texted for a while, and since then things have been okay, not close, but calm. I haven't heard anything from Mike or Susan, but honestly, I didn't really expect to. My dad's come by Jay and Ben's apartment a few times. Sometimes we grab lunch together, maybe once a month. But other than that, we barely see each other. About 3 weeks ago, Jay told me that my dad moved out of their house and got his own apartment. He and Susan aren't divorcing, not yet, but they're taking space from each other. I tried texting him about it, but he never replied. Overall, things are okay now. It's almost been a year since my mom passed, and I know that day is going to be hard. But I'm living, and I'm at peace. Thank you to everyone who's messaged me and offered support. I'm sorry I couldn't reply to everyone. There were just So many. But your words really helped. They made me feel less alone.
There haven't been any more updates to this story. This is where it ends. A sad story for the boy, but at least it's good to know he found a family that values him, with less pain and drama. What do you think about it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy our stories and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to support us with a like, a comment, a share, or a subscription. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.